if you were thinking about buying a house in 2025 and the market just got a little too crazy for you, totally get it. We're going to break down Sacramento real estate market for 2025. We're going to talk about predictions for 2026. If you're someone who's looking to buy or you're looking to sell in the Sacramento real estate market in 2026, this is going to be important. We're going to talk about predictions from realtor.com, zillow.com. We're going to talk about all the big wigs and what they're saying they predict for 2026. Guys, it has been nuts, but I will stand by what I always tell you. Sacramento is an amazing spot to live. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't choose anywhere else to live. This spot is fantastic. I love Roseville, Folsom, you name it. I absolutely love it. We're going to talk about how Sacramento is going to fare in 2026, new homes and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's get into the show. Happy New Year's in advance. Let's get into it right now. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are having a fun evening. I mean, I am. I'll be doing a Stranger Things marathon after this. The wild and crazy life of a realtor here in Sacramento. But here's the thing, guys. We're going to talk a little bit on this video that I'm doing right now, this live stream. We're going to talk a little bit about 2025 in comparison to 2024, how it really looked. You know what I mean? Through all the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2025. I know a lot of people had planned on moving in 2025. A lot of people had planned on selling in 2025. And for one reason or the other, things just didn't kind of work out for a lot of people. And they're looking for 2026 to be a better year for that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to go numbers. I'm going to probably put on the glasses as we also analyze what people are predicting for 2026. And that's a big one. People like realtor.com, people like Zillow, people like, Association of Realtors, all these people are predicting different things for 2026. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I think is going to be happening in 2026. And it's going to be, how can I say it? It's going to be very contingent, I guess you can say. I guess that's a great real estate term. Contingent on rates. I do think right now our market is so, geared towards rates right now. I think that, my bottom line on how we're going to do in 2026 is if rates stay above 6, I think we're going to have kind of the same type of market we had this year. I think if we go below 6 and we get into the 5s, I think we could have a better year. And I think it's going to motivate people to actually jump in. I don't think there's a huge push right now for people to move. A lot of people are saying, I'll move, I still got 2.75. I'm not really looking, if I do. Now, the people who want to move and the people who feel like they are the ones who are getting the jobs, the people that maybe, want an extra bedroom. But a lot of those people also are taking money out of their house at the 2.75 interest rates and they're building, expanding, creating bedrooms, bathrooms, pools. So it's an interesting market. I like it. We put at least like 6 people in the contract right now. A lot of them in new homes as well too. JMC, shout out to JMC. They're creating some crazy communities right now too. Placer One, you got West Roseville, great communities, great incentives. We've been having a lot of people love JMC homes too. And they're now offering some bigger backyards too in some of their Placer One communities. JMC is their presence here in Sacramento is so strong. They're kind of a Sacramento-ish builder, I'd say Sacramento metro area builder. And they're storming. They're doing great. I can't say enough good stuff about them. Now, a lot of my tours that you guys have been seeing on this channel have been in the Rancho area. And the funny part is, for me, it's a little laughable, and we'll put the glasses on to make it a little easier to see stuff. And I apologize. A lot of my videos, you'll see me wearing glasses indoors. It's just some days are good, some days are bad, but some days I got to wear the glasses. So what I'm seeing though too is a lot of builders still haven't kind of got it right. For example, like Cressley, for some reason or other, they do not allow realtors to go in there to video their homes. Tim Lewis is kind of the same way as well too. A lot of those videos you see for realtors, they're kind of, jumping in there and sneaking in there and everything too. We don't really work that way. We don't really understand why builders wouldn't want realtors in there videoing their homes and showcasing it, but that's another thing. Also another thing that we've been running into as well too, and this is something really to keep in mind as well. We're seeing models come up for sale. And a lot of the models right now we're seeing, with certain builders in Rancho who are selling off their models, they're running into appraisal situations. For one reason or another, they're just appraising low. So just be careful when you get into the model situation. And this is new for us because this has never really happened, but we've run into it. And so just for you guys out there too, just be aware that when you go into a model home, unless the realtor, the brokers really, they really are staying on top of the appraiser. They could really qualify that as just a regular house and it could appraise low. And what we're seeing right now is, although the market, 'tis the season and there's not still a lot of demand out there, builders are I don't know. There's some builders that are just clueless, honestly, some completely clueless at this point and don't realize the concept of let's like make a deal, let's get this inventory gone. We have new communities to build and all that stuff too. And they're just not kind of getting it. And it's a shame because I think they're going to miss this nice opportunity window of like, October, November, December, January, maybe even early February, where they need to get rid of inventory before spring comes out because they've got new communities they're building too. So I think also, guys, if it's me, and we've seen this happen, and if you get into a situation with a model home and it does appraise low and the builder isn't willing to kind of like do concessions, I myself, if they weren't willing to come down, I'd probably walk. Just my own 2 cents on that and everything too. You guys can do whatever you want. You're free to do that, but it would worry me. That would be my 2 cents on that. Now let's talk a little bit about numbers. Let's talk about like 2024 compared to 2025. Let's talk about rates. Let's talk about some fun stuff that we saw in 2024, 25. And like I said, we're going to go over some of the fun things that like Redfin's been saying, Realtor.com's been saying about 2026. It could be a good year. I mean, I still love the Sacramento area, guys. And like I said in the intro, and I'll reiterate it right now, I love our area. I love our market. Our market is so good. I call it like the mini gold rush out here too. It's still affordable California. You're about an hour and a half from skiing. You're close to the Bay Area if you want to go. But every day, every minute, every like month, we're building new things. A surf park, Top Golf, another Top Golf. We're building stadiums. We're building indoor soccer stadiums, outdoor soccer stadiums. We're just building, growing, developing new areas, new communities. You got the West Roseville area that's just crazy. You got Placer One that's growing. You got your Folsoms, you got your Elk Groves, you got your like Ranchos, you got all these areas, Braden, you got all these projects that are just developing. And we haven't even hit the even outer regions of like the Plumas Lakes and the Lindas and the Lincolns. There's so many amazing spots to buy here in the Sacramento area. And why, right? Why Sacramento? Like, why not, like the Bay Area? Why not? We have land. We have land that we're going to be building into and, creating new parks, new schools and everything too. And new things for you guys to do. All those people who moved here to Sacramento. And if you're like me, hey, good for you. Netflix, barbecue. That's how you roll. That's kind of what I do. Great. But if you're someone who wants to go out there, we got the biking trails, hiking trails. We got Folsom Lake, Lake Natoma. We got American River. We got the Sacramento River. We got fishing, photography, rafting, boating, you name it, you can do it. We got camping super close by. We got hiking trails, running trails, biking trails, 32 miles of paved bikeways for bikeway from Folsom all the way, I think it is all the way to downtown Sacramento. It's crazy, guys. We kind of have it all here. And we also have land that we can build these communities that for the most part, all of a sudden appear. Placer One, where did that thing appear? It's just boom, there you go. It's building, it's growing, and now it's building and selling houses and is there. East Ridge Village up in El Dorado Hills, same thing. It's building, it's growing, and pretty soon it'll be there and everyone will wonder, like, I just blinked my eyes and there's a whole new community. Then we're talking about all the new stuff that's happening. You got Toll Brothers building that big 1 acre lots up in El Dorado Hills starting at $2 million. Then we got them also what's called building a couple more over at Bickford. We got also Shawwood. Shawwood, a big player now with their building, Japanese art, like building style and like the wood that's been treated like furniture grade wood. And Shawwood is building now in Folsom, which we like, a little too close to the 50, but we like. Now they're going to be building in Roseville and they're going to be building in Lincoln. So we got building happening, guys. If you're someone who's thinking about coming out of Sacramento and you think we're stopping or slowing down on the new homes, think again. Taylor Morrison has already bought more land in Folsom, and Taylor Morrison's going to be opening a whole nother community in Rancho as well, too. There is so much happening right now in the Sacramento area. It's kind of hard to nail it down exactly like what's developing, what's growing faster and all this stuff, too. But if you're someone coming out there and you're looking for something in the 400s, yeah, it's kind of doable. I mean, there's areas like in South Sacramento, you got like the Delta Shores area, the outskirts. You also can get a nice big backyard in the Plumas Lake and Linda area. If you want a ranch, go up to Grass Valley, Nevada City, Placer. I mean, there's so many areas here in the Sacramento area that fit your lifestyle. Now, if you're a little bougie, hit the Granite Bay, or if you like golf, go up to Verdera, go to Serrano, go to Morgan Creek. I mean, there's so many amazing things to do here in Sacramento. And if you want a central location where you don't want to really go over $600,000, you got the Rosemont, College Glen area. If you want to be near the airport, Natomas, north of Natomas is a little soft right now. You can jump in there as well too. If you want an older schoolhouse and you don't really want that tracky kind of feel, man, you got the Pocket, you got East Sacramento where you can get a house like, with a basement. You got everything here in Sacramento, guys. I'm telling you. And for people who are moving in who are wondering, hey, I need to be close to medical. Oh, don't get me started. I know people in this channel have heard me talk about the medical things. We got Shriners, we got Kaiser, UC Davis Medical Center, Mercy. I mean, we got so much developing and growing. We got another UC Davis popping up in Folsom. We got more things happening. We got a Kaiser campus coming downtown. We got another Kaiser campus, another one coming in Roseville. We got Dignity also popping up in Folsom. Dignity just opened up in Elk Grove. So we got medical as well too. And because of all these new homes that are popping up in areas like Elk Grove, the Vineyard area, West Sacramento, guess what else we got, guys? Just guess. Schools. Yes. Because of Melrose, no one likes Melrose, but they're paying for brand new schools being built. Lincoln's got them, Roseville's got them, and everything. So if you're looking for that spot in Northern California, United States, that is just growing, developing, and it's like a mini gold rush. I mean, Sacramento's really, really great for it. Are our summers a little hot? Yeah, but you can actually afford to get a pool here and enjoy your swimming pool. Okay, there we go. Now let's get into some stats, and let's probably cut this a little short tonight just because I'm still getting over the flu. And, you know, I got a daughter who's on me for watching strange things. And then we're going to be doing a little Minecrafting. I know the busy, crazy life of a realtor, but that's my goal for the night. All right, glasses on. Let's do stuff. All right. Boom. All right. Interest rates. You know, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you, oh my God, look at this. We can even get you under a 6. But as we all know, this still isn't fantastic. Oh, I got some comments here as well too. I'm glad you made it too. And I cannot wait to start showcasing some of those JMC model homes. We're going to be showcasing a lot of West Roseville too. Probably in this Friday, we're doing Beezer, but then we're going to focus a lot on West Roseville as well too. We want to get a little love to West Roseville because it's such an amazing spot. So you tune in for those. Those are going to be good. Happy New Year, everybody. Wishing everyone a good year. Yeah. And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I was kind of thinking you guys would all watch this on a replay and you guys had fun things to do tonight. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I guess this is fun for you because it is for me. And, you know, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And honestly, even last week, I wasn't feeling great, but I missed tuning in. I missed doing the show. I missed like interacting with you guys. I missed doing this. This is such a part of what I normally do that not doing the live show last week really kind of threw me off. My rhythm was a little off too. The show does mean a lot to me. I love bringing my energy out here. I love answering all your guys' questions. And I think this is so important because what I notice more and more is, and I cleaned out a lot of the videos on my channel too, and not because I didn't want to keep them out there for you guys too, but I wanted to get rid of some of the data and the videos I did that, were a little misleading and maybe the price points were different and, the time was different. The markets were different too. I want this to be a very much updated, clean, something you can go to and feel like, okay, we maybe need to talk to Mark, but we kind of get what the market's looking like. Now, that's why I love doing this live show as well, too. There's no smoke and mirrors. There's no jump cuts. There's no like, I got to do another take. This is live 100%. And I love doing this. I love being able to unpack my week with you guys, talk a little bit about the market, talk about all the phone calls I've been having, talking to people like realtors, lenders, title people, buyers, sellers, everything too. So for me, the show really does mean a lot. And thank you so much for tuning in. This show will give you the most accurate data of the real-time market here in the Sacramento area. Not videos done a month ago, not videos done 2 months ago. The market changes here in Sacramento a lot. Why? Well, one, because we have so many new home communities building. We have so much buyer demand has gone up and down, all the courses here. Interest rates, if this interest rate, for example, goes under 6%, the market's completely going to change. And a lot of the videos done at this interest rate could be really irrelevant. So this show is for you. Now, let's get into the interest rate and see how it's doing right now. Now, again, guys, this isn't saying you can go out there and get a 6.2. Depends on the program, depends on the lender, depends on your credit, depends on all this kind of stuff too. Now, what we focus on when we bring this up is usually just where it's going. That's trending down. And a lot of, lenders out there too, which I love my lender friends, but they're going to say, oh, rates are still really good. Comparatively, like, my dad bought when it was like 14%. I get it. But let's be honest. We've seen 2.75s. We've seen 3%. We've seen 4%. You can't unsee that. And so when someone tells you, 6.2, if you can get that, that's fantastic. It's still a hard pill to swallow, and it doesn't get you as much of a house as it would back in the day. So this is where the rates are going. And like I said, for me, my gut tells me that if we can kind of get it under 6%, we could be having a pretty solid 2026. The funny thing is last year specifically is before Super Bowl, I mean, the market was crazy. I mean, there were so many people into the market, listing, buying, selling. The market was moving, it was going crazy. And then Super Bowl happened, and then it just killed the market. Super Bowl just crushed everything. And then after Super Bowl, it went downhill. Demand was a little lower. It still was a market where we were selling things and everything too. Like here, this is a national, like, up till the beginning of November, how many houses were sold in 2025. But still, it wasn't one of those markets that we expected. We thought we'd be over 4.5. I think that was the number they're shooting for, and we didn't come near that. So this is kind of what it looked like last year. We're talking like, from 2013 all the way to 2025. If you look at it, it's just kind of like gone low and just staying there. I mean, that's just not, what we anticipated. Everyone kind of anticipated everything to go up a little bit. If you look at it, I mean, guess what was happening here? That was like the 2.75 period and the higher interest rates. And we're going to take a look at also a little bit later in the show, we're going to take a look at 2022 and how important of a year that was to real estate and how that kind of is still something that a lot of people don't really focus on. But for me, I mean, looking at the stats on 2022, I mean, it was such an important year to real estate. And I think that it really does reflect on the market that we're having like in 2023, 24, 25, and probably even a little bit in 26. It was a tough year. All right. So here's we go. Redfin's existing home sales. And this is, again, this is national. As we saw February, March, April, I mean, it was like all over the place. Around here, we got a late start to summer and everything kind of went. And this is national. Everyone's statistics were a little bit low for this year. Everyone at the beginning of the year was predicting a banner year. Towards the end, it just wasn't good. Now, the big thing to note as well, too, and this is something that for me, at least I noted, is that December, at least for the beginning of December, like maybe the first 2-3 weeks, it was really, really busy. I talked to a lot of realtors and they're like, yeah, I'm listing some stuff. A lot of people are out there looking for homes. And it wasn't just new homes. It was resale. It was new. It was selling. But there was an active, like a pulse, maybe for the first 2 or 3 weeks in September or in December, which I found kind of interesting. Now, here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to break down the data between 2024 and 2025. As you can tell right here, I mean, it was a little different here and there, but at the same time, Jerome Powell. But for the most part, what you're noticing is it was kind of a mimic of the year before. Yeah, it had a little bit more of like, it was a little hotter, I guess, in certain times. But for the most part, we saw kind of a little bit of a lower, I'd say a lower year as far as like appreciation, everything too. It was just a flatter than people expected it to be. And I didn't expect it to be that way. Like I said, after Super Bowl, I was expecting us to go crazy. So for the median home price here in the Sacramento area, and this is the Sacramento metro area, which includes like Placer and everything too. So, the Placer, like Roseville, Rockland, everything too. So this is kind of what it looked like. We were fluctuating high before the Super Bowl, boom, median sales price. And then all of a sudden we went down. Then we had our summer bump like we always do in June. And then it went down and down and down. And then I think it was Jerome Powell around there. Boom, we spiked a little bit too. But this is kind of how it looks as far as for the median sale price. And this is all the way till November 2025. And then the sales price kind of dipped. I mean, it looks a lot more drastic than it was. I mean, honestly, 570, that's the low. High was 600. I think right now what we're seeing is the houses that are on the market currently, sellers are actually like reducing. They want to sell the inventory and they just want to get rid of them. And so that's kind of what we're seeing right now. What you normally see is when people are looking for homes, usually in like October, November, usually November, December, January, and February, it's usually people who are looking for deals. And then our market kind of flips in March, April, May, June. That's usually the summer market where people want to get their houses. They want to be done before school starts and all that stuff too. So it depends on when you're selling your house, but you're going to get different type of buyers looking for your house. And it's about timing as well too. We have a house that we listed that's actually in contract right now in Folsom. Beautiful house, beautiful views. We put that thing in contract in like 4 or 5 days. And it wasn't because, normally I would get on here and toot my own horn. Hey, video marketing and everything too. It truthfully was more about timing than anything else. It had been on the market maybe 2 other times, but the 2 other times it was on the market, it was competing against Lennar, who's building with views. And it was competing against like other builders like Taylor Morrison and everything too. Right now, what you're seeing in Folsom specifically is a lot of the builders have slowed down, and we were competing against Shawwood that was kind of close to 50, and there wasn't too much inventory. So this was a good time for this house. Timing is really, really important. If you're someone who's looking to sell your house, you really got to look at the analytics around your house, like a quarter-mile radius, what's selling, what's competing with your house, like how are the open houses doing, how many days on the market, all that kind of stuff is super important more than ever. The reason why I talked to this seller and she called me directly and said, should I do it now or should I wait till after January? And I saw that there was no other houses like this one. The views, the weather, and the timing wasn't fantastic straight up. But because I knew that Taylor Morrison had just kind of ended up like they had no more houses and their community closed up, and Toll Brothers didn't have any houses with views. Shawwood also was too close to the 50 and the noise. I think a lot of people were like saying, I don't want to pay 1.5, 1.6 for a house over there if I got that 50 noise. And they didn't have that much inventory in single storyville. So this was a single story with the next gen suite, and it was about timing. But if you're someone right now who's looking to sell your house, it's not just about a comps. It's just not about like, how can you say, like days on the market. It's not all about that stuff. It's really about timing and who you're competing against in this market. At least that's what our team has seen. When houses have been like the only house ready to go, like aggressively priced, they fly. But if they're competing against other homes and it's a market that's rich of inventory, it's just hard. Like for example, like the Rancho area right now, the Anatolia area, what you're running into is a lot of people now are reselling homes that are like practically new, like 3 years, 2 years, 4 years old. And they're just sitting because number one, they're competing with a lot of resale inventory that's being sold as well too. But also they're competing against Beazer, Khoff, Tri-Point, what's called Woodside. They're all offering insane kind of like, incentives as well too. So it's about really kind of timing when you go to list your house. And you guys probably know we have a bunch of listings coming up this year already. But my first conversation piece to a lot of people is like, look, here's the thing. Let me gauge the market to see if there's anything selling, but you're probably gonna get your best bang for your buck if you can kind of wait till spring. And if you are trying to sell your home, I'm still gonna tell you that spring is when people are. Now, the only caveat to that is there's going to be a lot of inventory hitting the market, like probably like end of March and everything too. A lot of people are waiting till spring to relist. You've seen a lot of the inventory be pulled from the market. All those people, new photos, new bios, a lot of times even new realtors or new description, and they're ready to go. So my gut tells me that in March, April, we're going to see a big push of inventory. Now, the big thing about that push of inventory is it's going to be interesting to see the pricing that inventory has. If the inventory that's being pushed out there again, and the retreads, as we call it, get pushed out there and it's good pricing, and aggressive pricing, I think things will move and I think the market will get a nice little push, especially if interest rates are under 6. But if the houses are like new photos, new realtor, and pushed out there with a high price point, I think some will do pretty good, but I think some of them also will flop, and it could lead us to a stall in the market. So it'll be interesting, but I do think March, April, you probably are going to see that inventory you've been waiting to see in the retreads, but also in a lot of the new stuff that's coming up. For us, we've talked to at least 7 people who we've already taken photos. Everything's good to go, and we're waiting till like March or April to list stuff. A lot of realtors have that exact same battle plan. So that's one of the things I kind of see happening in 2026. All right, number 2, let's get into it. Okay, again, as we see here, what's called new listings, kind of the same kind of trend we saw. 2025, like I said, we had more listings early on in the year. And that just kind of all kind of ended up fizzling a little bit, kind of towards like, end of March and April. And it just kind of ended up kind of fading out. And in fact, 2024, if you look at it side by side, 2024, we actually had more new listings in the market towards the end of the year. So like I said, 2025 was set to be a banner year. And then it just, after the Super Bowl hit, it just fizzled. Inventory was priced, I think, too high. Demand was way too low. I think buyers just felt a lot of really beat up. I think a lot of buyers also were going to the new homes. Although I don't think the new homes right now are that silver bullet that everyone thought they'd be towards the end of this year. I still think a lot of the new homes are struggling. I think they're still building like crazy. But the crazy part is, like, builders out there too, a lot of them are smart and they want to make a deal with you. A lot of them aren't. They're just like, no, we'll let this inventory sit. And I think that's a huge, huge mistake. And I just say, let's make a deal. Let's go. I mean, 3 years ago, they were making great deals on new homes. It jump started the new home market. They got rid of the old inventory. All that stuff sold. Their new inventory that they released with new communities was selling left and right. But if you have too much surplus and all of a sudden you're building new communities as well too, it doesn't really lead to a fantastic kind of success for your new communities when your old community still hasn't sold out. So it'll be interesting. All right, number 2. Boom. All right, this is pending sales as well too. Pending sales, it was neck and neck with like 2024. But this is kind of where it gets kind of interesting right here. If you look at here, pending sales, I mean, if you look at it right there, boom, we are still up again before Super Bowl. Everything was so good before Super Bowl, and then everything kind of tapered out. In fact, if you look at this after Super Bowl, whatever, like you see this right here, 2024 actually did better for pending sales. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, boom. And then we go new listed median prices in the Sacramento metro area. And this is again 2024, 2025. Now 24 was crazy. If you see this, there was a giant spike towards the end of the year on home prices being listed. And that started us in our situation that we were in this year, where for the most part, things were priced really, really higher than people anticipated. I mean, how many people out there were looking for homes and they saw some homes out there and the price point just didn't make sense? I was seeing a lot of those houses and it just kind of blew my mind. It was almost like the people were like, I got a 2.75. I'm throwing my house on the market. If it sells, great. If not, I'm good keeping it. I saw a lot of those houses hit the market towards the end of like 2024, which kind of shocked me. Now, as we see here again, for the median price, it was still higher over here for 2025. So this, as you can see right here, this carried over here to 2025 over here too. And then as we saw right here, after Super Bowl, it just dropped. So hopefully we just don't make that same mistake this year. All right, let's get into some more data. All right, median sales price in Sacramento. And as you can tell right here too, 2025 at the beginning, again, before Super Bowl, we are crazy. We're doing good. And then we just tapered off. And that was not great. In fact, the median sales price in Sacramento was better last year towards the end of the year than it was this year. Not good. All right. So what do we got here? Active listings in Sacramento metro area. Again, this year was great. We saw more inventory hitting the market, which is great. But if you look at right here, it dipped. A lot of the people right now, like I said, I was talking about this in an earlier podcast, they are holding their listings for spring. You are going to see probably a little bit of a overload in listings March and April. A lot of people are pulling. A lot of people weren't going to sell for the price they were going to get. People right now whose houses are on the market, it's either going to be in a really crazy spot, like a Folsom, and they're going to get tons of offers, or they're just saying, I got to get rid of this house, hopefully by the end of this year or early next year. So that's what you're seeing on the market right now. But again, if you look at it right here, you're going to see a lot of people, guys, honestly pulled their listings, held off on listing them, and you're going to see a kind of an interesting spring rush hit our market. All right. Boom. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this live too. It's good to be back. I feel a little bit out of my rhythm. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. All right, median days on the market in the metro area. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Look at this. 2025 was higher than 2024. Look at that. And then look at this. Super Bowl, boom. And then boom. Look at that. Just kept creeping up higher and higher and higher. Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting how 2026 does. And there's a lot of optimistic opinions about 2026. There's a lot of people who predict 2026 is going to be way better than 2025. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, ending the year, with the median days on the market, kind of this big of a contrast between 2025 and 24 is going to be a little tough. All right. The weeks of supply in the Sacramento metro area. Again, guys, look at this. Supply was great. Supply was great. Supply was great. Supply was great. And then all of a sudden here, not that great. Why? You're probably going to see a surplus hit the market, guys, sooner than later, probably March or April. All right. So now let's get into some of the stuff. And this is kind of very, very, very interesting. Now, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about 2022 and why it was kind of so important in our market. and why right now we're still suffering the effects of 2022. The beginning of 2022, we're talking about 3.3% interest rates. Now we closed out 2022 at a 6.3, 6.5 interest rate. I have not seen a year that drastic. That was a crazy, crazy year. And at that point in time, I think you really lost a lot of buyers' interest. And I think all of a sudden we started kind of seeing the market we're in right now. And I don't know exactly what we can really do to get out of this. But this is what I was seeing. And this is kind of crazy. I mean, check this out. Beginning of 2022, we're at like 3.1s, 3.3s. And at the end of 2022, we're at 6.3, 6.5. Pretty much kind of where we are right now. That's just nuts. And that's kind of lasted from the end of 2022 to basically now. And we're probably going to see this seep over in 2026. If you notice that in the graphs I was showing you guys, 2025 and 2024 were kind of like, neck and neck, a little Super Bowl action here and there, but pretty much neck and neck. It's because of this interest rate. This is the interest rate that's going to keep us at the same type of market that we had in 24, 25, and probably 26. So just kind of understand that we are so rate driven right now. It's just nuts. So I would say for you guys, if you guys are looking, like I said, time your life, don't time the market. But if you're someone who's just watching these things and thinking to yourself, like, I can't afford it at 6.5, when's the market can get better? We are so rate motivated, rate driven now. That is just absolutely crazy. And I think a lot of buyers, can't really make it happen at a 6.3, 6.5. I think the thing that's nice about our Sacramento area is that we have so many new home builders offering these incentives and everything too, which is driving a lot of the traffic over to the new homes. I still think though, with this type of market that we're still seeing now, I just don't know if 2026 is going to be a way better year if that rate is what we still maintain through all of 2026. That's just my 2 cents again. If you look at it right now, check this out. This is how 2022 versus 2025. But if you look at 2022, the light blue, I mean, like you'll see how many homes were being sold, and then it just dips. And then it's on par with pretty much like what we had like this year. I mean, it's just crazy. Even over here, boom, new listings were coming out. Everything was active and everything too. And then all of a sudden, it just like, as soon as rates started to go from 3.1 and started hitting like 5% and now 6%, everything was just spoiled by that. And 2022 was a crazy year. I mean, a lot of people, like if you look at 2023, 24, 25, yes, there were like variables like Super Bowl, like Jerome Powell talking, everything too. But we've been at this kind of stagnant market for the most part with 6.2, 6.3, 6.5, sometimes over 7%, but we've been just hovering in this market. And a lot of people are thinking to themselves, hey, look, the market's going to do so much better next year. It's all based on the rates that we're going to see next year. If we can get better than 6%, if we can get into the 5s, I think we're going in the right direction. And I know a lot of people are watching this and going like 5s is still not going to cut it. But at least I think if we see something with a 5 in front of it, we are going in the right direction. And hopefully we do see that in 2026. All right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the cold December. Now, these stats that I showed you didn't really reflect on December. Now, what I saw in December, first 2 weeks of December, for some crazy reason, I don't know what it was, but for the first 2 weeks of December, things were going crazy. We were getting people wanting to list their homes in December. We're getting people who were looking to buy and everything too. It was more of this like pressure, December, let's buy. Towards the end of December, Christmas hit, we're into it right now. It just slowed down again too. And it got really, really, really cold. I don't think that really bodes well for January. I don't see anything that's going to be absolutely just nuts happening in January. That's going to get people into the market. I think more people are probably going to be hibernating and they're going to be waiting for maybe like after Super Bowl. That's just my 2 cents. All right. Buying Elk Grove, 550K under, and I lost out to a cash buyer last week. We'll be putting an offer this weekend on another Elk Grove home, 20% down at whatever I find that mostly is turnkey. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Elk Grove's tough. I would say, okay, here's the thing. I think Folsom is a competitive market, like around like maybe like 750s and above. That's kind of the market here in Folsom. Elk Grove, though, like for the 550s, for the 650s, it is tough. We're talking about like, 757, 758, 624. It's just really, really tough right now, too. You know, I would say one thing about Elk Grove, and I'm not saying you should go there, but the only market that I've seen in resale in Elk Grove that seems to be a little bit more like doable is a higher price points, like the 850s and 950s in the resale market, because I think a lot of people are pivoting to like the bigger homes by Taylor, by Tim Lewis, by New Home Company. And I think a lot of those homes are a little soft. But I mean, if you're looking for something for 550, or under in Elk Grove, that is like that's a tough territory to be in. I wish you luck. I think just, be aggressive. I would say for you as well too, have your realtor, like for example, a good friend of mine, Luann Shikasho, right? She is a very good friend of mine. Love her. She's awesome. But she keeps like what, like 5 or 6 pocket listings that she just holds ready to go. And she's good. She's got photos and everything too. So if you're looking to buy in Elk Grove, talk to your realtor. You can even do it yourself if you want to. Go on Zillow and just type in Elk Grove, and you're going to see the realtors are actually spending money in that area. And those, you're going to find maybe like 7 or 8 big teams in Elk Grove. Call them up, have your realtor call them directly and say, do you have anything coming up? Do you have anything off market? Do you have anything this? There are a lot of people right now that are keeping those off markets in their pockets and waiting till March or April. But realtors like to make deals happen and everything too. And if you talk to like a Luann Shikasho, tell her I sent you, she'll laugh. And say, hey, Luann, Mark said you always keep some listings ready to go. Do you have anything? She will probably have at least 3 or 4 listings. And she's just one of the realtors that are like really, really do well in Elk Grove area. There's some big teams out there too. That if it was me and I was looking to move into an area like in Elk Grove, I would be hitting Luann. I'd be hitting at least 4 or 5 of the other big teams. You guys have anything coming up? Anything maybe waiting to spring? Now, another trick also is if you look on the MLS for the things that maybe were listed in like June, July, August, September, that all of a sudden disappeared, those are probably going to be relisted in spring too. So you could actually get some addresses, figure it out, and actually reach out to them as well too. That's kind of the competitive edge that I'd be looking for if I was jumping into a market like Elk Grove, like a Folsom, like maybe East Roseville. All right. Do you have any knowledge about Sutter Point in West region? No, I do not. But I'm going to be like literally going on a world tour with my video person. So if you know any areas that you want to learn a little bit about, and I know you specifically, you love the West Roseville area, I will bring my camera person there and we will showcase that area. If you have any knowledge of any communities, and this goes for everyone who's watching this, if you have any knowledge, or if you guys are looking at this and going like, that community looks really, really interesting, I'd love to know more about it. I'm going to be releasing probably a lot more videos on communities, areas, and everything too. If you guys name it and you guys like shoot me like a message or post something about a community that you want featured, or maybe a builder or maybe a floor plan, man, I am playing the hits, the demands, whatever you guys want to do, whatever you guys want featured on this channel, let me know and I'm game. So if that's something you want featured, let me know. And I do not mind going out there to do a little research on that. I plan on going up to East Ridge Village. I plan on going out to Placer 1 again. There's a couple new communities coming up in Bickford. I want to do the top golf course communities here in the Sacramento area. I also want to do where a friend of mine has a boat, and I'd love to go, Folsom Lake, and I'd love to take a look at like some of the rivers and everything too, and take some video of all the houses on the water for you guys as well too. So we're going to have some fun stuff happening in 2026 on this. The other thing I want to feature on this channel is like Grass Valley. I want to fix other outskirt kind of areas for people who are looking for more affordable living, maybe ranch style houses, maybe land. I also want to talk about building new homes. We have so many contacts right now that are actually working with people to build brand new homes, build land, build homes, and do that. So I got a lot of fun stuff in store for you guys 2026. River Lake in the pocket sold. All right, just for you. I'm going to actually screenshot this so I don't forget. I'm down. I will go. Okay. I like that. I'm okay with that. If you guys have, like I said, this channel is for you guys. This channel is like, sometimes I'm trying to rack my brains thinking, what would you guys like me to show you? Not really about just like the sell, not about like, oh, this and that and everything too. If I see something that's exciting, I go out there and film it. But I would love to get your guys' feedback because this channel, everything that I'm putting on this channel is basically based for you guys, people who are like looking to learn a little bit more about Sacramento, communities, areas, pros and cons. You guys give me some ideas for videos and I will definitely do them. All right. It's a new city that will be built in Sutter County. It's like in Highway 99 east of West Roseville. Okay, I like that. All right, I might have to go over there. What do you think? Have you heard good things about it? I'd love to go out there and film some new stuff. I also want to give you guys a little bit of an update on Braden and how Braden is doing as well too. There's so many projects I want to do. The other thing too is I know that they're going to be building a whole bunch of stuff by like the new MLS arena. I want to do downtown Dover where I like drone the whole area as well too. We got so much fun stuff happening. It's gonna be crazy this year. I'm really excited. But again, I look at this channel as our channel. So I look at it more as in like, let me know what you guys want me to go out there and shoot. Like I love my model homes and it's fun to do them. You know, I got those things down. I'm showing you guys some model home tours, but they get a little redundant and I know this. And if you guys have some ideas for some fun ones to do, I am totally game. I love real estate. I love this area. I love Sacramento, but I also love just getting out there and showcasing the city for you guys. So you let me know what you want and I will make sure we do it on this channel. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the forecast. Here we go. Zillow, home prices. What they're guessing is that modest increase. Now, before we get into this too, Zillow, Realtor.com, everybody underneath the sun makes their predictions. And within a month, 2 months, they forget that they ever said this stuff and they have their new prediction. So take this with a grain of salt. This is our prediction for the moment. Will it change in a month? I'm sure it will. I mean, you know, these guys will predict, but at the same time, like I said, one thing that they should have probably mentioned is it depends on the interest rate, and they never do it. Somehow they think that they have this like magic crystal ball, and unless they control what the interest rates are going to be like in 2026, they're just blowing smoke. But let's go over the smoke that they're blowing right now. Zillow says home prices are going to go up 1.2% nationally in 2026. Mortgage rates likely to stay above 6%. I could see that. Rents, apartments, flats, a little increase. Single families, a little bit of an increase. Plain English, 2026, stable prices, more breathing room, not a boom year. that honestly, if rates stay where they're at and we have another year like, you know, where they're staying above 6 and all that stuff too, I could see this being somewhat on par. All right, Redfin, mortgage rates. They're saying 6.3 in 2026, down from 6 point. Okay, so they're seeing a little bit of a decrease in interest rates, but as we all know, it's going to have to do a whole lot better than 6.3. Home prices, all right, you're a small increase. Big theme, slow housing reset, where affordable improves because wages grow faster than prices, not because prices crash. Plain English, less pain, but not cheap. Yeah, and that's going to be another thing too. I mean, if rates stay the same and all of a sudden house prices even go up a little bit, it's still not going to make a whole lot of buyers too happy. I'm so glad our market has new homes. Ooh, those incentives, guys, those incentives are just such a big plus for our market. Can you imagine if you live somewhere like LA or live somewhere like the Bay Area where you had maybe one new home builder building like 5 or 6 homes and that's it? And you had to struggle with this interest rate. You had to come down with 10%, 20% interest down payment for a house, and you had to compete. Guys, you don't realize how great it is having new homes and the abundance of new homes we have in the Sacramento area. Number one, you get those incentives and you get the options and the choices. Now, I'm not saying new homes are the silver bullet for everything, but it's great to have that option. Now, for those people who hate new homes and you're like, I just don't like new homes. Guess what new homes do for resale homes? They keep the prices down because with additional new homes, there's more competition. Imagine what our prices would be in the Sacramento area if we did not have the abundance of new homes. Take advantage of that. Okay. Fannie Mae, home price growth nationally, all right, 2.8, a little bit better than Zillow predicted. Experts see mild appreciation continuing. All right, guys. Realtor.com, home sales expected to rise 1.7 in 2026. Small rebound from low levels, plain English, more transactions, but still not a normal volume year. So all the big players up to this point are basically saying the same thing, around 2% increase. And this is nationwide. And and it's probably going to be just like this year, next year. This is where it gets interesting because I, I don't get it. National Association of Realtors, existing home sales projected about 14% in 2026, much more optimistic than Realtor.com. Plain English, NAR is calling for a bigger activity rebound if rates ease and more inventory shows up. Okay, so here's a trigger on this one. If rates ease, so vague, and I mean, you know, give me a little bit of a number as far as rates easing. Give me a little bit of a scale, but don't throw 14% out in 2026 without giving me some numbers as far as like what interest rates have to be looking like. That just isn't. And more inventory shows up. Yeah, it's going to be more inventory, but it's also going to be the inventory that we saw pulled off the market in August and, you know, August, September, August, you know, November, December, and getting ready for spring. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. This one is the one that I'd really kind of keep your eye on. This is the dark horse. And like I said, if interest rates somehow get down to 4.5 and 2.7, 3.5, I could see this, but I'm just not seeing this if we remain over 6%. All right. What is the consensus? Price a small increase. Yes. Rates still around 6%, not back to 4% anytime soon. Sales up a little, but not meaningful. So for the most part, let's break it down. What people are saying is that based on what we know about 2026, I mean, considering we'll be there in what, like 3 hours, 2 hours, it's not looking like it's going to be much more different than 2025 unless rates start to drop. So that's kind of what I would say to be prepared for in 2026. Now, I'd say hope for the best, prepare for the worst type thing. If you really need to buy here in the Sacramento area and you're saying to yourself, I want to move, I want to buy. I still love Sacramento. I think new homes are offering great incentives. I think the resale market, you know, if you work with a good realtor, they can show you the pros and cons of both. I would say educate yourself on the areas, the communities, the cities, all that kind of stuff. I would say, look, don't think about it as in, all right, I'm going to buy, you know, I'm going to buy in 3 months. And in 3 months, I'm going to start my search. Do that education piece right now. Now they have a little time, a little breathing room, and there's no huge pressure unless there's a huge job move or some big change happening in your life. But kind of, you know, jump on the phone, maybe with our team. We'd love to talk to you and talk to you a little bit about the areas, new homes, you know, resale homes. Like, should you wait? Should you buy now? What's a good deal? What's a bad deal? All that kind of fun stuff. Those are the things you got to know about right now. Now, for example, if you don't want to talk to a realtor, you don't want to talk to a lender, you know, everyone's going to say, oh, get pre-approved before you start looking. There is validity to this, but at times you just don't want to be bothered or hounded. Get it. I would say one of the things that I would tell you to do is go to open houses. Okay. Now, remember also, if you go to the new home communities without a realtor and then decide to bring a realtor in later, they won't allow that. So you got to go with a realtor your first visit on the new homes, just to know this. But I would definitely say to you right now is the time to do a little research if you're moving to Sacramento. Figure out the different areas, figure out the different counties, Placer County, El Dorado County, Sacramento County, Yolo County. Look at the home insurance, look at the schools, look at all that stuff. Look at where you have to get to. I mean, do you work in Folsom? Do you want to live in Rockland? How much does that, how far is that? Like at 9 o'clock in the morning, like all those little details are super, super important. So do your research now. I wouldn't say run to buy a house. I would say walk slowly, do it cautiously, get educated, and figure out the team you want to work with. And, you know, at the end of the day, figure out the lender you want to work with. And that's what I would do if I was looking to buy in 2026. Use this time, this downtime where the weather's not great, to maybe do a little research, figure out what, you know, what the market looks like, what areas look like, what you're looking for. Because for me, when I made the move here to Sacramento, I didn't realize it was so incredibly different. And the lifestyles you can have in different areas are so different. I mean, there's like areas where you're on the water. There's areas that you're near trails. There's areas that you're living on a golf course. There's areas that's mid-century modern. There's areas that are houses built in the 20s. There's areas that give you a little bit more land and don't break the bank. There's so many different areas here in Sacramento. Don't be fooled and think that Sacramento is a one size fits all. It definitely is not. This is the time to actually get the education piece done and figure out everything you know about Sacramento, so that when you see the house or you see a house that you say to yourself, that could be the one, you're going to go from that could be the one to, oh, that's the one. because that's a community we really, really like. That's the floor plan. 2 months ago, we saw a house just go, listed for a little bit less than that, and it flew in about a week. This sucker is going fast. Know that, be that secure about your purchase. And that only happens if you actually do a little diligence and kind of get informed, get educated about the areas and everything too. Okay, soapbox done. All right, new homes in the Sacramento area. And this is the last one. I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to go back to the old format as well too, starting next week, where I bring on questions from the channel. So if you guys want, hit your questions, communities, all that stuff. We're going to do our usual where we go over the polls and all that kind of stuff too, starting next week. This is the first week that I'm kind of getting back after the flu. But I definitely want to talk about our market. And hopefully this gave you a little clarity about Sacramento, what to expect if you're thinking about moving out here. New homes, they're going to keep building new homes. They're building them in Placer One. They're building them in Folsom. There's going to be new communities popping up in Folsom. There's going to be new communities popping up in Elk Grove, El Dorado Hills, West Sacramento, Natomas, South Sacramento. There's so many new home communities in Sacramento. And then you got the outskirt areas like your Lincoln, your Grass Valley. There's going to be new homes in Grass Valley. There's going to be communities, Plumas Lake, Linda, Yuba. So for all you people out there who are thinking that, resale is fantastic, I'd love to go in that direction. I would say also look at new homes, not because I want you kind of to pivot to new homes, but I do think choices are good. And it's always good to evaluate everything. Like check out some new homes, check out some resale homes, look at areas that you might not consider, but yeah, I got the time. Let's just do it. Do all that stuff. Now, for us, new homes, if you're thinking about buying right now and you're thinking to yourself, I want to get into a house today, tomorrow, the next day, JMC's got some great communities, I'd say, in Placer One. Placer One is super, super hot right now. They're just building like crazy. There's going to be Placer Vineyards as well, too. The Placer Parkway is going. West Roseville is going to connect into it as well, too. It's just a very, very hotbed of activity. Then you look at Folsom, you're going to see Taylor Morrison probably building another community out there sooner than later. Rancho is the place where you're going to see the most homes, new homes being sold right now. It took the crown from West Roseville, but I don't know if it's going to hold the crown too much longer. I mean, West Roseville and Rancho go back and forth with the most competition and new home builders, and people love the bang for your buck. I would say if it was me and I have to be somewhere on the 50, Rancho would probably be a spot that I'd look at just because of traffic. I'd say if I need to be in Roseville, maybe Rockland, somewhere on the 65 and 80, West Roseville, it might be a great spot. New homes. I would also say before you pull the trigger on a new home, make sure you're in the right school district you want to be in, and check traffic cycles, check new developments that are happening there, check out Costco's and all that stuff too. Get educated. That's what we do for our clients, and we'd love to work with you on it. Now, we're done with the show. If you guys enjoyed this broadcast, like I said, we do this every single Wednesday. Well, almost every single Wednesday, except for holidays where I'm feeling sick. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Share this video. And like I said, if you guys are looking to move into the Sacramento area, support this channel, support our team. We'd love to work with you. Jump on a Zoom call. There's a Zoom link below. And I will see you guys in 2026. Have an amazing new year. And before I leave, I just want to say I'm super grateful for you guys tuning in. Super grateful to all the people that have trusted us in your real estate journey. We appreciate you guys, and we really, really, it's been a joy to work with all of you, and we wish you nothing but the best in 2026. For all you people that we moved into new homes, enjoy them. That's the stuff we live for. All right, guys, see you in 2026. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Buying and selling is stressful. I mean, there are definitely different avenues you can go in, and there's no guarantee. Every property is different, whether you're looking to buy it or sell it. So reach out to our team and we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of selling currently, what your house is valued at, and all that stuff too. There's a link below to schedule a call. Now, if you're thinking about moving into the area, guys, reach out to our team as well. We're working with a lot of people relocating into the Sacramento area. We absolutely love it. There's a Zoom link below. Set up a time where we can talk to you a little bit about what your needs are. Now, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento. I mean, we always are out and about. So if you're looking at places like El Dorado, Roseville, Rockland, Davis, we got you covered. Just reach out to us. And maybe you don't want to do a Zoom call, so just hit me at my phone number on the banner and we can talk a little Sacramento. Now, guys, one last thing before I go. There's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will help you kind of make a decision if Sacramento is that spot for you and you want to take it to the next stage. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video.